Hey TAKEOFF family, this is Chris Lane, co-founder of TAKEOFF Performance, and we have a very special guest with us today, and a new member to the TAKEOFF team, Gabriella Morrocu, record-setting lacrosse player from King's College. Gabriella, we're just going to try to get to know you a little bit today. We do have some questions for you, so we're going to start right off, all right? What got you into lacrosse, and what made it become a passion for you?
So in third grade, a couple of the high schoolers who play lacrosse came into our gym class and were teaching us how to play. And I liked it so much. I wasn't playing any sports at that time, so they handed us out flyers for a clinic that was being held at our middle school. And I ran home, showed the flyer to my parents, and I was like, I want to do this. So we went out, got a stick, and I went to the clinic. Most people on the team, or that were at the clinic, had boy sticks. I had a girl stick. But most people in my area didn't know what lacrosse was, even though lacrosse is big on Long Island. In my area, it wasn't big at the moment, so everyone was just kind of starting out.
All right, so you're from Long Island, New York.
Yes.
Okay, Touche. What high school did you go to?
Glen Cove High School.
We went to Glen Cove High School. All right.
Go Big Red.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so now that you're an accomplished lacrosse player, you've set records, you have a lot of accomplishments that you've achieved. What is the thing that you feel that would have helped you the most along your journey and along the way to where you've gotten?
So probably the thing that would have helped me the most is if I had more information that people I could talk to about lacrosse. So in my area, lacrosse was a growing thing, so people were kind of just starting out and no one really knew much, and me being the oldest in my family, I was the first to play sports and do things, so no one really knew teams and clubs and training facilities. So for me, it was kind of just leading the path for everybody else.
So you were a leader, and it was a lot of firsts happened for you along the way. So what advice can you give to the up and coming players about the challenges that you faced along the way?
Definitely to talk to older players. If you're at a tournament or you're on the field and you see other older kids, ask them, be like, hey, what teams do you think that I should be looking at, and are there any things that you do for training, or what extra things that I can do?
So each individual player is going to have to take a little bit of accountability and take the steps. It's not always just directly handing it down. So that's a big challenge for people, is to feel confident that they can step up to and talk to an older player. A lot of times they feel intimidated and say, oh, they're way better than me. But for the most part, someone like you is going to want to pass that knowledge down and share your experiences. Am I right by that?
I think as an older player, if I had a younger player come up to me and say, hey, what can I do to get better? I would be so thrilled to be like, hey, this is what you can do. Maybe hit the wall, give them some ideas. If I were younger and knew older people who played and things like that, I would be so excited because I would have information and things to go to follow.
I actually have a question. What was it like when you scored your first goal? Do you remember your first goal?
I do not
remember
my first goal.
Don't remember your first goal. It was just so many of them? Is that why?
I do have a ribbon though when I first started playing, I have a ribbon that was tied onto the back of the cage that I took, and I still have it.
You still have that rhythm. So you have a little piece that you keep with you as a constant reminder. And I think that's important for all athletes to always have something with them that's very special to them and keeps them grounded, keeps them reminded of kind of what they play for.
Your entire career, what was your most memorable shot in the game?
Probably my 100th career goal, because my whole team celebrated. So we had 1 second left on the clock. I took a shot, someone hit me in the face, and they called it a penalty shot or a free position, and the only thing I was allowed to do was wind up and shoot, and the ball ended up going in. We lost terribly, but we celebrated like we won the world championship. So it was great. It was a team celebration rather than just a personal one.
That was really, really cool. So was there ever a point in your career that you questioned if you were good enough? Did you ever experience a moment of doubt where you were asking yourself, am I really meant to play this sport? Am I really going to be good enough to be the serious athlete that I want to be?
Probably in high school, when I started thinking about colleges and things like that. I knew I wanted to play in college, but I didn't know what level I was able to play at. Some people would tell me, oh, you could definitely play D1. Others were like, I don't know. Like, it was kind of just me trying to mentally prepare myself for whether I get accepted to places where I can play. So
when you were really taking it seriously to get into college and you were experiencing those doubts, how did you get through that? Like, how did you, talk your way through overcoming that challenge, that, experiencing self-doubt, and how to overcome that as an athlete?
I think that as an athlete, that you put in the hours, you put in the time, you put in the work, and you put in the effort. So you know what you're worth as an athlete. You know in your heart where you can go and where you can play. You know the dedication that you have and how much time and effort that you're going to put into it. If you want to go play D1, go for it.
So when you think of your career, what is the biggest game that when you look back, it just fills you with the joy and passion of like, yeah, lacrosse is one of the best things in my life, and I'm so glad that I dedicated my life to taking the sport seriously and being an athlete for lacrosse? Tell us about that game.
So it was our rival team in our town in Wilkes-Barre. We have King's College and we have Wilkes University. So we were actually playing at their field. This was my sophomore year. And we were down by 7 goals. And in lacrosse, 7 goals is a lot, but not really. It kind of depends on how much time you have left in the game. So one of the girls on my team, she had never played before college. So I ended up passing her the ball, and she scored. She lit a fire under everyone's butts. We came back, scored 7 goals. We played, I think 3 overtimes until we finally won. It was honestly a game of trusting each other, because winning as a team is so much better. It wasn't just one person that was constantly scoring. It was everyone chipped in and everyone was part of that win, and it was great.
How did that feel?
Probably being so emotional. Like, everyone on my team was crying, because my freshman year playing against them, we got killed about 20-3. So being able to come back and beat our rival team, getting on the bus to just travel a couple minutes down the road, it was the greatest bus ride ever. Everyone was just so filled with morale and the sense of confidence that we can do it for the rest of the season. It really, really helped us.
So I'm sure our viewers want to know, as an accomplished athlete, what did your experience with lacrosse really teach you about yourself and who you are off the field?
Probably that I learned more dedication and organizational skills, time management. So transitioning from a high school student to a college student, lacrosse was almost taken away from me. Due to not knowing how to do most of those things. So I had to really find it in myself and push myself to say, hey, do you really want to play lacrosse? Because it's been a big part of your life, and if so, then you need to get your act together and step it up. Otherwise, it's going away.
Yeah, it teaches you so much about yourself off the field, and now that you've come into this different next point in your life, now that you're joining the TAKEOFF team, what excites you the most about the prospect of working with female athletes with the company that TAKEOFF is becoming?
Probably the greatest thing that I'm looking forward to is giving girls confidence and motivation to do different things than they're used to. Maybe it's working out in the gym, eating differently, or just anything in general. Just being able to give them the confidence to do things that they think that they might not be able to, and to show them that lacrosse isn't just a game, that it's kind of, it shapes you into who you are.
I really appreciate that. And if you could say something to your viewers, what would you like to tell them?
Probably if you guys have any questions, message me. I will be happy to answer lacrosse questions, fitness, health, anything that you guys have, feel free to fire away.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. We're excited to have you on our team, and welcome, and let's continue to empower our female athletes and everyone we get to meet. Thank you.
Power.